2015 Deaf and Hard of Hearing Constituents Day at the Statehouse. 2 weeks ago, on April 14th, the Center for Living and Working, DHILS staff and consumers had a trip to the Statehouse for the 2015 Deaf and Hard of Hearing Constituents Day that was hosted by the Massachusetts Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. The morning consisted of different programs, presentations, and award given to different individuals in the community. After the morning program was finished, we broke off and went to meet with our legislators about concerns about budget cuts, interpreters, and healthcare. So you'll watch these next couple videos, which is a compilation of experiences and stories and concerns that were brought up to the legislators. You'll notice the first video has no English interpretation provided. This is to give you an idea of the everyday communication barriers that deaf people experience. An example of this is if a deaf person is watching the news on TV and closed captions are not provided, then they have to guess what's being said. You should consider yourself lucky that we've provided captions for you. The rest of the videotapes have English interpretation and captions provided. On behalf of the Center for Living and Working, I'd like to thank the legislators for giving CLW staff and consumers the opportunity to go to the Statehouse to share their own stories, experiences, and concerns. So thank you.
I wanted to talk to you today because previously there was an office here in Framingham for the Center for Living and Working. And it was great because it was very accessible and I could get any help that I needed at any time. But now that office in Framingham is closed. And so now when I receive letters and other paperwork that I don't understand because English is not my first language, I have to call the office in Worcester and have a deaf staff member drive all the way out here to Framingham to meet with me to help me with these things. I wish the Framingham office was still open. I value CLW because I can communicate easily in American Sign Language with the deaf staff. Now I'm really concerned that CLW will undergo even further devastating cuts, possibly $325,000 worth of cuts. If those proposed cuts happen, there'll be less interpreters available and more barriers for deaf people. Communication for deaf people with non-deaf people is very challenging. Many non-deaf people are not willing to write back and forth like doctors and nurses. And this brings me to my situation at the hospital with the video relay interpreting, where there's a remote interpreter seen through a video screen. When I showed up at the hospital, they told me, sorry, no interpreter available. And I waited. As I waited, all of a sudden, a staff member showed up with a TV screen. And they had no idea how to set up the TV screen for the video relay interpreting. And they said that the IT person only worked till 5, so he was not available to help. And the other staff hadn't been trained yet. For those situations, I really cherish CLW's help to advocate for interpreters. And that's why I don't want to see CLW cut any further.
We received funding from the Massachusetts Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. There is now a proposed budget cut of $325,000 for fiscal year 2016, In 2015, there was a budget cut. However, this new budget cut will directly affect the deaf and hard of hearing independent living services programs. The Center for Living and Working is one of those programs. Galena's story is one of many of the deaf consumers that experience the frustrations of these budget cuts.
I'm originally from Russia, and I moved here to the U.S. in 1996. Life here is much different than Russia. CLW has helped me in so many different ways. They've provided me with so much guidance with their various programs and services that they have to offer. It's made my life so happy here. They've helped me resolve my issues with the court system and housing, and just taught me everyday American life skills. I'd also like to share my experience at the hospital when I was having surgery on my hand. I went to the hospital and waited for 2 hours for the interpreter to come. However, the interpreter never came. The hospital staff apologized to me for the interpreter failing to show up, and then brought over a TV screen so that we could utilize a video relay interpreter. However, the internet service kept cutting in and out, causing the video to freeze up so that I couldn't understand the interpreter fully, though they could understand and see me. This was at Tufts Medical Center in Boston. I was shocked that after requesting a live interpreter, not once, not twice, but 3 times, Tufts failed to provide me with an interpreter. CLW is so important to me. If not for them, I would lose my life. My life would be a disaster. So please support deaf and hard of hearing independent living services by restoring MCDHH's funding.
The proposed $325,000 budget cut might look like a small amount in the eyes of the governor or the committee. However, this budget funds so many different programs and services. Even though it looks like such a small amount, it would impact us so greatly. It might be a 20% or 30% reduction, and it's going to affect the services that we are provided with. So please preserve this budget and put the money back to where it belongs in our DHILS programs. Thank you to the 250 people who attended from various backgrounds. It wouldn't have been successful without everyone's support. Thank you to our legislators for your support. Please preserve DHILS services by maintaining MCDHH's fiscal year 15 budget for fiscal year 16.